Welcome to Power Code Music. In today's presentation, we're going to talk about the Tascam DP24 digital Portastudio and punching in and out during recording sessions on that device. Punching in and out is an audio and video term that began as a recording technique used on early multi-track recordings. The way that it worked was that part of a live audio performance would be recorded onto a previously recorded tape. Remember tapes, or those of you who do? This would then overwrite the sound that had been recorded on that section of the track. Now, if you're new to multi-track recording, then in short, punching in and out is a way to correct or update parts of a pre-recorded track without having to re-record the entire track from start to finish. Now, here's the deal with punching in and out on the Tascam DP24 or DP32 multi-track units. Number one, you can punch in and out manually. Now, this is normal and available on most digital multi-track recorders today. Number two, you can punch in and out hands-free using a foot pedal, which on the Tascam DP32 and 24 units is the Tascam RC3F Footswitch. Last but not least, number three, you can also have the unit punch you in and out during your recording sessions automatically using a pre-programmed configuration. Again, still hands-free. So grab your coffee and your tea, sit back and relax. We have a lot to cover and you are not going to want to miss it, and it should be fun. Let's start off by talking about punching in and out manually. The manual process is actually fairly simple. You push the play button, and when you reach the part of the track that you want to replace, you then push the record button to punch in. To punch out, you press the play button, or you can press stop. Now, let's look at how to do this manually in more detail. I'll show you how to do it. First, you need to figure out the section of the track that you want to replace. Select a starting point on the track where you want your punch-in to begin. Press the record or REC buttons of the tracks that you want to overdub first to put them into recording standby mode. The REC buttons, the recording buttons of those tracks, will start flashing. Now rewind the recorder well before the punch-in point of the section you want to replace. Then press the play button. When the part you want to replace is reached, press the record button to start your performance. The unit will start recording, which is now your punch-in. When you finish your performance, press the play button. The unit then switches to playback mode, which is the punch out at this point. Let's move on to the next part of the technique, which is using a foot switch to punch in and out, again hands-free. You can connect a dedicated foot switch, which is the Tascam RC3F, to the remote jack on the front panel and use it to punch in and out. In the process described previously, for instance, you could step on the foot switch instead of pressing the record button, and then step on the foot switch again instead of pressing the play button. Now, let's look at how to set up the foot switch on the Tascam DP24. Configuring the foot switch is done on the preference screen. So when the unit is stopped, press the menu button and go to the menu screen. Use the jog data dial or the cursor buttons to select the preference, and then press the F4 button. Use the cursor buttons to select the foot switch SW right. Use the jog data dial to select the function you want to assign to the pedal right or pedal R, which is the rightmost button on the Tascam RC3F foot switch. The options include play, record, stop, fast forward, rewind, punch in and out, play and stop, which are the default settings for pedal R, along with cue locate. Now, in the same way, set the functions for the pedal center in the foot switch center and for the pedal left in the foot switch left position. The options also include play, record, stop, fast forward, rewind, punch in and out, which is the default setting for pedal center, play and stop, cue and locate, which is the default setting for the pedal left. When you're done with the pedal configuration settings, press the home button to return to the home screen. Let's take a look at the Tascam DP24's RC3F foot switch functions. As we can see, this foot switch function list has 8 different functions for this particular device. The first is play, which is the same as play on the unit. Again, record is the same, stop is the same, and the fast forward is the same. We also have rewind, punch in and out. We have play, stop, cue, and locate. And what's really cool about this is you can do this all from the foot switch and have a hands-free environment for all of this functionality. We'll move on to the automatic punching in and out. When performing the auto punch in and out process on a track, the playback starts from the pre-roll before the recording start point, which is the punch in point. When the punch in point is reached, the recording starts. When the recording in point or punch out point is reached, the unit switches to the playback of the post roll and stops. In rehearsal mode, you can simulate the auto punch in and punch out of the recording. You can rehearse your performance and also check whether the in points and the out points are appropriately set. You can also use the punch in and out in combination with the repeat function. Now this is cool, check this out. By using these functions at the same time or simultaneously, you can rehearse the punch in and out of a recording or record the same section several times, which is called a multi-take. This means your rehearsal is then completely automated. Let's move on and see how to configure the punch in and out points for 100% automation. Now there are 2 ways to set the punch in and out points for automation. The first is called the last rec. This sets the start and end points of the last recording or rehearsal. Now this will be the punch in and out points. The display returns to the home screen and the auto punch appears at the top of the screen once you set this parameter. The second setting is called the in-out setting. This option sets the in point and the out points as the punch in and out points. So the first point will be used as the punch in point and the second will be used as the punch out point. Pretty straightforward stuff. Now, once you make these settings, the display returns to the home screen and the auto punch appears at the top of the screen. Now let's look at how to use these settings in detail. When the unit is stopped, press the home button. Press the record buttons for the tracks that you want to punch in and out automatically. Press the auto punch button to open the auto punch screen. Use the cursor buttons to select mode, pre-roll or post-roll, and then use the jog data dial to select the value. There are 3 values to select from. The first is mode, which consists of the last rec or in and out parameters. The second is the pre-roll, which you can set for 1 to 9.9 seconds. And the last is the post-roll, which has the same values as the pre-roll. After setting mode, pre-roll, and post-roll, press the F4 button. You can press the auto punch button to return to the home screen without entering auto punch in and out mode. To check the punch in and punch out points, When punch in and punch out points are set, confirm the setting by pressing the play button. The playback starts from the pre-roll point and then continues to the post-roll point. When the punch in point is reached, on tracks armed for recording, already recorded audio will be muted and only the input signals will be heard. When the punch out point is reached, already recorded audio and input signals will both be heard. Now here's a point of note. You can press the auto punch before putting any tracks into recording standby. Use the REC buttons of any track to put it into the recording standby mode after enabling automatic punching. Let's look at how to rehearse automatic punching. In the rehearsal mode, the unit operates the same way for the actual recording, but the recording is never performed. So let's look at exactly how to do this. When the auto punch is lit and one of the tracks is in recording standby, press the rehearse button and the rehearse button will become lit. Press the record button. Auto punch in and out rehearsal starts. Playback starts from the pre-roll point. You can monitor both the track playback signal and the input source signal simultaneously. When the punch in point is reached, the monitoring changes to the input source signal only, and the record button starts flashing to indicate that this is a rehearsal. When the punch out point is reached, the monitoring of both the track playback signal and the input source signal starts, and the record button becomes unlit. Playback continues until the post-roll point and then stops. Before starting your rehearsal, you can press the repeat button so that all three auto punch, rehearse, and repeat buttons become lit to repeat the rehearsal operation until you press the stop button. Let's move on to recording with automatic punching. This is 100% automation. First, press the rehearse button to turn off the rehearse button and press the record button. Playback starts from the pre-roll point. You can monitor both the track playback signal and the input source signal simultaneously. When the punch-in point is reached, the monitoring changes to the input source signal only, and the record button lights. When the punch-out point is reached, the monitoring of both the track playback signal and the input source signal starts, and the record button becomes unlit. Playback continues until the post-roll point and then stops. Now here's a tip. Before starting the punch-in and punch-out recording, you can press the repeat button so that the repeat button becomes lit. And then, using the virtual track feature, repeat the punch-in and punch-out recording up to 8 times, which is 8 takes. After the recording, you can then choose your favorite take from one of the 8 takes recorded in the virtual tracks. Keep in mind that you can undo punch in and punch outs. For more information and details on how to use virtual tracks, that particular feature within the Tascam DP24, watch my video, Tascam DP24 Digital Portastudio using virtual tracks, on this channel. Well, my friends, that is a wrap. If you enjoyed this video, please give it the thumbs up and click on the subscribe button on your screen now and join our group. We have new videos coming out every 7 to 10 days and we would love to have you be a part of our team. Also, leave a comment in the comment section below and let us know what you think about this video. And check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify. Oh, and while you're here, listen to some of the other music on the channel. Check out some of the other videos. We have lots of playlists and things. Let us know what you think about that too. Thank you so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it and we look forward to seeing you soon.